everyone. Welcome to the next episode of Book Readers Talks. We are talking today to Aditya Rajwade, who is from Pune. He's a data analyst by profession and a book reader by passion. He has also started various initiatives in the reading and writing space. We will learn about them today from him during the interview. Welcome to the show, Aditya.
Hi. Yeah. Good evening.
Hi. Good evening. So, I would like to start by asking you about your love for reading. How did it all begin?
Oh, yeah. So that's a very good thing because as you can see in the background, so this is the culmination of my reading from the start. So in the topmost shelves are the books that have been like read to me or given by my parents and grandparents. So when I was a kid, I used to read Amar Chitrakatha comics. So that was my source of history beyond textbooks. Then like almost my mom used to read to me. My grandfather used to give me books to recommend like once I became a bit older. So everyone in my family has been reading from the start. Like at least they used to read a lot before the advent of mobile phones. Uh, but on every birthday, every summer vacation, every Christmas, like Christmas, I used to get vouchers for Crossword and Landmark, which Landmark bookstores were a big chain in like Mumbai, at least as I know of. And I used to get like monthly birthday vouchers for them. So we had this regular thing where we used to go every birthday. Or if it's in the winters, then Strand bookstall was a very big thing back then, and it closed down, which was very unfortunate. But uske bade bade like huge lines होते थे, which all of us as a family used to go, me with my
Okay.
grandparents and parents, and then we used to look for books. Like at that time, our reading was very different, but still it was very enjoyable to go as a family just to read and buy books. So that's how I started.
Wow, this is really cool. So, can you recall a specific moment or a specific book, that sparked your interest in reading?
Oof. Actually, there is specific book is basically Uh, I like stories a lot, so I do not remember a specific book, but I distinctly remember my mom reading Famous Five or Secret Seven to me.
Okay. What types of books do you enjoy the most? What genres, I mean?
I prefer reading humor a lot. So one of my favorite authors is P.G. Woodhouse. I have a book if you want, I can show it. Like
Sure, please.
Yeah, so this is I think it's mirrored, but Woodhouse is my favorite author, and he
Okay.
has written over 100 books. So
Mhm.
I just love reading that genre. Woodhouse, then Yes Prime Minister, Yes Minister, the plays, the series, and there is even called Richmal Crompton. She has written over 100 years ago about a 11-year-old boy, which I absolutely love as my go-to book whenever I go into a reading slump.
Okay, okay, nice. So, what role do books play in your life, like entertainment or a source of inspiration, information, like that?
Reading reading defines me. Reading is what makes me me. So every book that I've read, every person or every story I've heard is a part of me. That is what reading books are to me. It is a story. It is a story about something. It is a story to learn more, to hear about an experience, to learn. Not just read it, not just to escape it. It becomes a part of you. All those characters that I've read are somewhat define me what I am. And which is the joy that I have got, not just like, which is why I want everyone to read something at least, because it is, you learn a lot from it. You learn a lot of social skills from it. You learn to empathize a lot. You learn to think from different perspectives. Yeah, I mean, basically, I think a Ruskin one said that once ki, if you haven't read, it's not bad, but you are losing out on something.
Absolutely. So, which book have you chosen today to talk about?
Okay. The book I've chosen today is P.G. Woodhouse, and it's called Blanding's Castle. So it is
Okay.
a book series. So it is a set of books. So one of the series may books name is Pigs Have Wings. So the series is my absolute favorite. It also has One of the short stories in the book series is called Crime Wave at Blandings. It is one of the most humorous books I have ever read. So basically, while I'm traveling in the metro or something, and I just start laughing out loud, which is weird to be seen, but it is one of the absolutely funny books. So PG Woodhouse is a very distinctive style of writing. The skeleton of the book is going to be the same. He there they there is a boy, he falls into trouble, his parents like say you are grounded and such, you will be cut off from money, then ladki ka chakkar aata hai, and then someone comes to save him. Like there is a very skeleton thing that will happen across all books, but the creativity, the mirch masala that he adds, and the British humor and wit that is there, that is
True,
absolutely
true.
amusing. And I have read these books more than 10 times at least in my whole life. Like I've recently started reading Woodhouse. I started Woodhouse like about 7 years back, and I've at least read all of most of his books at least 5 to 10 times, my favorite ones. And every time, like I forget like over 2 3 months, matlab, goes out of my recent memory, and then I read it again just to get the joy of reading again.
Yeah, right. Can you tell us something about the author?
About the author. Okay. Uh, so Woodhouse, uh, he was alive like about 100 years ago. He has written over 100 books almost, but I would say for me it's a classic, and he is one of the best authors. And like almost every story of it, his is simplistic in nature, yet captivates everything. The use of words and language in like every different characters का nuances जो होते हैं, it's very like funny. There's no world building as such, but the character nuances are amusing here.
Can you quote a few lines from the book that you have selected today?
Oh yeah, one is like the one part is he the enjoyment, shooting as a sport is enjoyable depending on which end of the gun you are. It's a quote from a book called Mr. Mulliner by Woodhouse. So he
Okay.
says, intoxicated. The word did not express it by a mild. He was oiled, boiled, fried, plastered, wiffled, sozzled, and blotto. So the descriptions of just a simple act of being intoxicated is amazing.
Right.
So another is like
Right.
Jeeves and Woodhouse may say it's a popular quote. Jeeves and Woodhouse is a popular novel of his. Sorry, Jeeves and
Okay.
Mr. Wooster. Jeeves and Wooster.
You have.
So the quote is, it isn't often that Aunt Dahlia lets her angry passions rise, but when she does, strong men climb trees and pull them up after them. So it he's just like it's funny, matlab, with context and
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
it's pretty good.
The wordplay is amazing.
Yeah. So like the voice of love seemed to call to me, but it was a wrong number. And like it has some like intelligent like as questions because Jeeves is a personality who reads Nietzsche's and Benedictine Spinoza and things like these. And like so one of the quotes is, you would not enjoy Nietzsche's sir. He is fundamentally unsound. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Can you recommend one book from this author which everyone should read?
Okay. So I would really recommend everyone to read like Pigs Have Wings. So it is a book by Woodhouse in the Blanting's Castle series. But if you pick any of the books in the series, you'll absolutely love it. And even if you like pick up Jeeves and Wooster by the same author, it is another amazing series. You will love any of his books. But I would just recommend you just dive into any of Woodhouse books. It doesn't matter
Okay.
if it's the first or a fifth, but it is going to be a ride.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Aditya, does it happen to you that you start reading a book or books and you leave it halfway and then you never return to the book to,
Yeah,
finish the book? So
yeah,
has it
yeah,
happened to you?
yeah. It has, it has. So there was called "Everybody Loves a Good Draught" by P. Sainath. So
Okay.
that is a very heavy book. I honestly come from a privileged background. and I'm from
Mhm.
Mumbai. So I have never seen casteism or any other things up close. So this and even the government policies that are happening in rural villages, I've never seen that the realistic news that is happening. I'm like honestly, I'm living in a bubble, or I used to live in a bubble. So this book everybody loves a good rod, as you infer from the name. So it talks about government policies and how exactly things where they go wrong and the government apathy that there is. So P. Sainath is a journalist, I guess. Like I think he's a journalist as well, and his short stories are very good. So I think I read a couple of his short stories, like couple of his like first two three stories, and then I stopped. I honestly couldn't read it anymore. मतलब वो digest नहीं हुआ. So I needed to take a breather, and I have come back to it, but it takes a lot of mental effort to read that book,
Hmm.
honestly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that happens. Right. So, Aditya, about your background, you have a lovely bookshelf.
Yeah.
So, would you like to share with us what kind of books you have stored in them?
Okay. Yeah. I could actually make a video and share that later on as well. But
Sure,
uh,
yes.
I have books, so I categorize books according to genre. So at
Okay.
the topmost shelf are books that I do not read a lot, and so it's a bit tough reaching them. I do not have a fancy ladder. So for I've kept the books which I've read in my childhood at the upmost level. So upmost level has comics like Asterix and Obelix, Phantom, and Amar Chitra Katha. I have like 100 or so Amar Chitra Katha books, and then Famous Five and It Britain, which I have outgrown these books. But the whole collection of Famous Five, the whole collection of Secret Seven, Five, Find Out as in a Dog, is in the upmost cupboards. And then we come down to the lower cupboards. And then there is fantasy fiction, which is a favorite genre of mine. So I have a Kindle as well. I own a Kindle as well. So I read a lot on a Kindle. During the middle years, thoda, like I used to live in Mumbai, so there is obviously a space issue. So I used to like download books on my Kindle preferably. But now that I've joined the book community, there is this disease that is going on that is affecting everyone. Ki when you interact with more and more people, you buy more and more books. So if you do
I
not want to
totally
buy
agree.
more and more books, you should not interact with us. So a lot of my collection right now is I've been buying recently. So I have a old Agatha Christie collection. Basically, I have almost all of Hercule Poirot's
Wow.
books. So that was
Okay.
actually collected by my father. He has put it in a plastic sleeve jacket, and like I'm not that I'm lazy. I'm not going to do that. It's too much work. But he has done that. He used to read Jeffrey Archer. Jeffrey Archer is also one of my favorite authors. Keen and Evil I've read at more than 5 6 times. So that is there. That so Dad K all books, Sidney Sheldon, uh, Tom Clancy, Jeffrey Archer. I put it in one shelf. Then I have science fiction. I've read Michael Crichton. So Jurassic Park, if you have seen that movie, it is based on the book, which I did not know when I had
Right.
actually seen the movie. It is a
Hmm.
very I've read a lot of Michael Crichton books, and then there is espionage, Jean Le Carre. So I've read a lot of his books as well. I've read the
The
series.
car
I've seen the
is
series as well. He's amazing. Yeah.
okay.
Then
Is
I
just
have a
wow.
whole like shelf of legal fiction. I used to love legal fiction. So
Is
Michael
it?
Connelly,
Okay.
John Grisham, I have like 10, 15 plus books, each of them. And yeah, I mean, then I have a whole set of Hardy Boys. Like I have like 50 or 60 Hardy Boys. Like I can't give them away. It's just a vibe. Matlab, Hardy Boys I've read like since a long. I haven't read one now since a long time, but I used to love them. Like when I used to get a voucher, Hardy Boys was one of the books in the voucher. मतलब
Go
वो
to
एक होता ही
books.
था among other books. Then obviously there is a huge humor collection which has Woodhouse, which has Jerome K. Jerome, which has like yeah. So I'm trying to collect all of Woodhouse books, but they are 100 in number, so the shelf is expanding day by day. And then I have a small section of romance books, which is from my early teenage days when I read
Oh,
Crazy Rich Asians and Chetan Bhagat
oh,
and
Oh,
things which
yes.
I'm not proud of very much. But yeah, there's a phase and time for everything. And there is a section of books which I did not like very much, and वो सब एक section में डाल दिया है. And I guess classics का एक section है, all the classics that I've read, modern and small classics, and uh, I've I collected the whole Wheel of Time series, which I've read twice until now. So Wheel
Oh,
of Time
God.
is a
Okay.
14 book series, and the smallest one is 750 pages. So I've collected all the series. I have the whole Game of Thrones series as well, and I'm a big fantasy fiction reader. Like humor is like the best, but fantasy fiction is the genre I read most. So it has Game of Thrones, Narnia का पूरा collection है. Then Percy Jackson का I have the full collection, and among other things like even Harry Potter and like yeah, Harry Potter is there obviously. Artemis Fowl is there, yeah.
Oh, wow. A lovely
And
collection.
non-fiction part may I have historical
Mhm.
fiction, and non-fiction
Okay.
is on the other side of like there's a shelf, open shelf. So non-fiction I
Mhm.
have very less, but I'm reading like philosophy and history and things like that. So उसमें भी 20-25 book है. Yep.
I see. That is a lot, Aditya. Thank you for sharing.
Yep.
Having a passion for book reading is one thing, but starting communities is a very arduous job, I think, and it takes a lot of efforts. Can you share information
Yeah.
about your community that you have started?
Uh, Honestly, before starting, I did not know it would take so much of work. I was just like, it seems fun, let's just start it. And like, first one was just for time pass. And then it just blew up. We did a lot of things, a lot of people approached us. We had a lot of people interested, including you as
Okay.
well. And then we were able to
Yes.
expand our community as well. But
Mhm.
it started basically because when I was back in college in my bachelor's, I was part of different book communities in Mumbai and during the COVID as well. So honestly, that was a big part of my COVID. I used to attend these monthly or weekly sessions online, Zoom say, of the community I was
Mhm.
back in like doing in my bachelor's. So it helped me keep some sanity as well. And I used to love meeting people there because I used to meet people from all walks of life. There wasn't a certain कि ये book के बारे में बोलना है कि or you have to talk about this particular book or you uh, talk about this theme or anything. You just come, talk about books, enjoy, interact. That was the theme. And that is the
Okay.
thing which I came to Pune. I did not find such communities. There were communities, but they weren't like frequent and they weren't like really my vibe. Matlab, I wanted something. So I was like, why not create it yourself? You have some time now. Since the advent of Pune Reads, I met so many interested people. So 6 months into Pune Reads, when we became like quite close friends, I was like, let's start something. And that is what I wish to emulate. And that is what is happening. So we have grown
Mhm.
from that simple thought process ki I have to create a space. And then it has grown so big because then Tanmay, I think, who you had on your previous podcast, he was like, I want to start something for writing, people who are writing. Then Pranav, who is being doing poetry for 4 years, he writes beautiful poetry. He is the one who kind of inspired me to write poetry as well. So he came up to me and said, Ki, I want to create this space, an intimate
Mhm.
open mic where
Okay.
people can come and say their words. They will not be judged. They do not
Oh.
have compulsorily to get in front of a mic. It can be just an intimate session between you and other people who are supportive of it. So a lot of people who have never had the confidence to say their words before have come up and performed, which has been really validating for us. And
This is
yeah, so
nice. Uh,
yeah, a lot of things that have been done, and we are starting a newsletter soon. Oh yeah. And like we are doing multiple workshops, a lot of people are approaching. Even we have theme bookmarks every month, and we give the opportunity to different people to design those bookmarks for us. And every month, so these people are bogged down in their jobs. They do 9 to 5, kuch alag nahi hota. There is monotony. So whenever they create the bookmark, there is a spark of creativity in them, which is really nice. I have always received a positive reply from them ki, oh, thanks for giving me that opportunity. I had really fun making it. I let my creative juices flow. I haven't done this in a long time, or something like that. So nobody, like, they don't show this off, but they are artistic. They are wonderful people, but they don't show this off. So I was like, this is a wonderful thing to do that as well. So it is going nice.
Yeah, that is fantastic. I would like you to just list down all your communities, starting with, I think, the Saturday Book Community.
Yeah, yeah. So the Saturday Book Community is the kind of main name where we all gather. So uske
Okay.
niche, like under that, we have a lot of different initiatives. So Books Muska is basically, we used to meet at Irani every Saturday. So there ka Bun Muska and books. So books Muska. So Muska is basically mean like flattering. So
Nice.
it's basically, it ties in perfectly. It's like flattering of books or something. So Books Muska is one of the initiatives. It is a monthly book club. Writers Lounge is the writing initiative. Then Words and Voices is the poetry initiative. And then we also do museum visits, art gallery visits, and like different art workshops you are coming up with.
Okay, that is great. And do you want to mention this the vintage
My
volumes?
friends came up to me,
Mhm.
and like 20-year-olds, they wanted to start the Vintage Volume Society. So these are 20-year-olds reading Leo Tolstoy, Dostoevsky, Kafka, and other depth, deep and depressing books, honestly. So these guys wanted to explore more of these books and talk about these books and discuss various points of views and opinions on it. And they wanted to start a society. So they came to us, we helped them work out all the kinks and different issues that were happening. And then we suggested ki online karo. So it's a niche. Classics reading is a niche. So you can reach a lot of people from different areas of life, and then you will get a lot of different opinions. So that is what happening. And you have been instrumental in spreading that as well, because we had a lot of multiple entries from all over India. So yeah, I think that's what the Vintage Volume Society is, a classic society of enthusiastic individuals coming together to read classics from different age groups.
This is huge, Aditya, what you're doing. And all the young with all the youngsters around reading
Yeah,
so
yeah,
much, it's very heartening.
yeah. I'm glad to be doing that. Honestly, I'm in the uh, I'm making a list of all the book places that are based in Pune and art galleries and museums. So I'm compiling a list for that. And once the Pune thing is done, I'm moving on to Goa, because Goa is a
Okay.
literary hub. Like, Goa is not only known for alcohol and drugs. Oran Pamuk used to live in a bookstore, near a bookstore in Kalangut, which is a beautiful 100-year-old place. So
Right.
Goa is was a literary hub. So I'm trying to document Goa, and after that, Goa ke baad I'll come to Mumbai, which is a humongous task. Yeah. I do have a lot of connects in Mumbai, book clubs and people in Mumbai, so hopefully I'll get help from them.
Definitely you will.
Yeah.
So being a reader, a writer and a poet also, do you plan to author a book sometime?
Oh, write books sometime. I
Yeah.
actually have a book in mind, but which I'm going to write later on. Like, we have too many things on my plate. Like, but I'm writing down like notes and like sa cheese. I'm noting down different things,
Okay.
so that in future
Mhm.
it will be easier for me to get back and like get on that thought process and write. So I plan to write a short story collection called An Anthology of Dreams. So I have lucid dreaming, so which means I can control what happens in my dreams. So I can control what aspects, and I can control what adventures or choices I take. So, which is very fascinating. And as a reader, it is an absolute delight, because I can live and control the words which I live in. And I've had like crazy lucid dreams, and I've written those down. I've got up like at 4 in the morning, because as you know, once you dream and you get up, you lose that dream within seconds. So I've gotten up at 4
Right.
and 5 in the morning,
Mhm.
and I've written like 10-20 pages of uh, a dream. So yeah, that's what I'm planning to do. But I've been told that Neil
This.
Gaiman writes
Mhm.
books based on the imaginations of his dream. So I might just write a book just based on one dream. And एक है which I story है which I haven't had in mind.
Okay. Look forward to reading it.
Yeah,
Great. This was a lovely discussion, Aditya. Thank you for joining.
thank you for having me. I hope I'll connect you
And
to more people, and you'll have amazing more people on the podcast.
okay, that will be great. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Have a good evening. Thank you, everyone, for joining me in conversation with Aditya. See you in the next episode with a new guest talking about his favorite books. Bye bye. Have a good day.